Hello everyone, myself Dr. Sonam Gupta, working as a professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today we are going to discuss a topic in web technology, which is web designing. We are going to discuss how the designing principles will take place, what are the key components that need to be taken care of. So these will be the contents that we will be covering: designing for the computer medium, creating a unified site design, designing for the user, and designing for the screen. Let's see first of all designing for the computer medium. So we all know that the website which we are going to design, it is for the computer, not for a simple paper. So what we need a proper look and feel so that the user who is using that site can come to know that this is a particular site which they are going to use. So the interface which the user will navigate, it is called the look and feel of that website. The users look and feel when they explore the information of design of the site. So look and feel, they implies that the personality that the website conveys to the user and the way it is going to work. Now, how we are going to make our design portable? The website, it must be portable across different browsers. Whatever browser we are using, it must be portable for that. Like the operating system, computer platforms, any hardware we are using, the website must be compatible. We also need to test the website which we are developing in the different web browsers. After that, we need certain features of HTML like CSS, which cannot be interpreted properly by certain browsers. So, many of the features of certain CSS, they are not being implemented or they are not being recognized by various browsers also. So, if necessary, separate websites for different type of browsers are to be required. Then we detect the user's browser and direct him to appropriate version of the website. Then check the website in the different browsers, and a website which is designed for a desktop PC, it may not be suitable for a mobile device. So we have to take care of all these things. Now, let's see, this is a website where we are having incorrect text spacing and font size. The text is also not wrapping up properly. Like this is the text which is going beyond this particular image. So, all the text is not being wrapped up properly. We are having a scroll bar. We have to scroll again and again to read this particular line. So, to come over this issue, CSS can be used for it. Now, another issue while designing a website is that we need to take care of the bandwidth as well. We need to design the website for the low bandwidth. Different types of interconnections, they are available. Then we have to plan our web page in such a manner that it is able to load at different computational speeds or the connection speeds. We must avoid using larger images, the complicated animations, movies or videos, because they take a lot of time to download. Now, if suppose I am having an image, if the image is not being able to download, I should provide an alternative text, which is by the help of the ALT tag of the HTML. Then we design an alternate page also, which will be using less graphics. Suppose the need of the time is that in my web page lots of graphics is required, but due to the low bandwidth, that page is not being able to load on the systems which are having low bandwidth. So I have to design an alternate web page also, which will be using less graphics for it. Like in this example, we are having lots and lots of images. Now, what will happen in this particular page? People who are having the higher bandwidth, they will be able to get this web page easily. But the people who are not having that good bandwidth, they are having the low bandwidth. So, all these images will not be able to load properly. So, I have to provide another page for that. Next is the plan for clear presentation of information. That is the information design, which is also the ID. What it means? It is the presentation and organization of our information, and ID, it is the most important factor in determining the success of a website. We should not use too many fonts and colors because that also distracts the user. We should provide direct link to the areas in the website that we think they are in the demanding thing. We can use contrasting colors also so that the text is easy to read. and because the user has a tendency, so user tend to scan rather than reading the whole page. So user just scans in this zigzag manner. So the text should be in a format that the user is able to just scan the page while looking at it. Break up larger paragraphs into smaller paragraphs, providing suitable headings so that by the help of heading only the user can come to know that this is my topic of interest or not. Breakup of long text into column format and linking the text with the hyperlinks. Now we can see that this is a clear presentations, because what is happening, like today's feature, growing orchids, temperature, humidity and air requirements. By the help of this heading only, the user can come to know that what is this data about. We are having hyperlinks also. By clicking on the hyperlink, the user can come to know the whole document. So this is a particular clear presentations. Not too many images has been used. The text is also concise, presentation is also very clear. So this is an example of clear presentation and it is easily accessible as well. Now what we need to do while designing the whole website? While designing the site, we plan the unifying things and structure that will hold the pages all together. The theme, it should reflect the personality of our own organization, of myself for whom I am developing that website. If the designing is for the children, then we should be using various colors, lively animations, big fonts so that the children can be interested in it. Like this is the main page. So here also the things is very much clear. Hyperlinks are there, images are very much low, font is also clear. This is for the children page that they have developed, because according to the children, font is also big, too many animations has been used, many of the images are also used. Now we should create smooth transitions, like I said, in a zigzag manner. Create a unified look among the pages. Reinforce the identifying elements of the site. Create smooth transitions from one page to another, and this can be done by repeating colors, fonts for the similar page elements. Now all the body text in a particular color and font style on all the pages, that should be the uniformity for all the site. This is another example. So in this site we can see that all the hyperlinks are of green color. We are having frames, images, the text, it is of black color, the headings, it is of blue color. So this is a particular uniform site. We can use grid to provide a visual structure. Grid, it is a way of organizing the page into rows and column format. So a grid basically, it provides a consistency look, uniform look to all the web pages. Like to build the grid, we can use table also. It will be dividing whole page into the format of rows and columns. What is another way to do it? Another way to do it is by the help of the frame set tag, where the HTML page, it will be divided into frames. Like see this example, it is divided into a whole space. The World Health Organization is a single frame. This is another frame. It is horizontally they are divided, vertically they are divided into 4 different frames. This is one part, second part, third part, fourth part. So this is by the help of the frames or by the help of table or by the help of div, we can easily divide this particular page. Next thing, for designing the website, we can use the active white spaces also. What is a white space? We know that white space, it is a blank area of a page. The area between the text, images and the paragraphs, it is also known as a white space. So white space, it defines the area of the page in which I am going to put my data. And it is used deliberately, then it is known as the active white page. And passive white page, they are the blank areas that appear on the border of the screen due to resolution problems and all. Like suppose I am having this web page and my data is starting from here. Now the space between this, it is the passive web page, passive white space, and the space which is being occupied by it, the text, it is the active white space which has been done deliberately. Now this is active and passive white space. All the information, it is the active, and the passive between the borders and all, that is due to the resolution part. Now how we can use the active white space? a lack of white space, it creates the impression that the page is containing too much information. Because if I'm having less white space, there is less space between the paragraphs, from the border, then it means that my web page is containing much more information. So it is but obvious that due to more information, and I am trying to get all the information in a single web page, due to this there is less white space. Next one, it is difficult to find information on a page that does not have sufficient active white space, because there is too much information, and how I am going to know that what is the space where I can put my data. Another thing, plenty of active white spaces, it reduces clutter also, and provides navigation elements on the same position in all the pages. This will provide the uniformity, and the user will be able to use that particular page very easily. Like for example, we can provide home, departments, contact us, or the courses, etc. Suppose there are 4 to 5 fields which are necessary. So I can make a particular page with all those 4 to 5 elements, and those 4 to 5 elements are to be repeated in throughout my all the web pages. So what will happen if the user is suppose at the department site and he wants to go back to that home site of the college? So by clicking on the home only, from any page he or she is in, by clicking on home, he can directly come to that home site. Earlier what used to be done, we used to press back, or we used to another go to the domain name, and then only we can get that particular page. White spaces, it is created by line spacing and the margins which are around the paragraph or a picture. Like this is my web page. So this is suppose any image which is there and text is written over here. So the space between this text and the image, we can say that this is also a white space. Heading is used to separate the content into the small chunks, and images, they can be used to separate the text. So by the help of images also, we can reduce the amount of the information on the web page. Now, since we are designing for the user, so what are the things which we need to think? Why has the user come to your site? There are so many websites available, so much information available. Why the user has come to my website? For that, I must fulfill that purpose. What type of information does the user want? What is the information that the user is looking for, which he or she is not able to get on another web pages? Is the site information or entertainment or any other site? So based on the type, or I can say based on the target audience also, we decide that what type of content is required, how that content is to be managed, and how that content is to be looked upon. Design for interaction, like I am having an interactive website, so how that particular design is to be done. We think about the user will interact with the web page, how the user is going to interact with the web page. So after designing a website, or before designing a website also, we need to think from the point of view of the user, how the user is going to navigate the website. Thinking like the designer has to think, okay, I am the user and what all information is required, how I am going to serve the site, how I am going to move from one place to another place. So this is required. If the page is a collection of links, then interaction will be done by clicking on the content and or the scrolling. Pointing to graphics and clicking on images to reach to another page. By clicking on the graphics or by clicking on the images, we can go to another page which is having the relevant content. Designing page into separate groups, like links for pages of physics, maths, computers, etc. There must be links available, so that by clicking on the link only, I can get to that website directly. Now, another thing for the user is that location. How the location is to be designing, because we are not able to predict the viewing path of the user, from what angle the user is looking. There are different type of users available. Suppose one user, he is very keen to read the things. So he will be scanning all the page one by one, he will be reading it. But one is the user who is just looking for a particular type of information and they are not able to spend much time on that website. So the research shows that the area of importance is shown in the next slide. The next slide, what are the area of the importance that will be shown, and put some most information in next and next important at the top and so on. So how the path can be done? First, the important information. About the information, we can go to the next slide or by having the next link. Then in the middle, we can put on some more important information so that user can traverse to it. Like here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the important information can be put over at one side, some more to the second, another important information at this third, then this fourth, and finally this fifth. So this is a numbering technique which can be done over here. Now, guide for the user's eye. As we have discussed earlier, user generally scan in a zigzag manner. So based on that user eye only, the data has to be sent. A user may scan page in many ways. One of the way is from left to right and then down to the next line. Like this can be the design for the user, guide for the user, top to front, then to the top line, then in a zigzag manner the user can read to it. We can also keep a flat hierarchy so that we do not make users to navigate through too many layers. We can provide a simple menu for the navigation. Use the same navigation menu for all the pages for uniformity, because this uniformity is important. If the user is not able to get the uniform data or the uniform design to all the web pages, then he is going to be confused. And once the user is confused, the website is of no importance. After that, we provide a sitemap that shows the user location on the website. We can use power of hypertext linking. Web page, it enables a non-linear reading method like we are reading a magazine. And this can be done by providing hyperlinks through text or through the images. We can provide hyperlinks directly to the text. We don't use click for the phrase for linking. Provide linking that allows the user to jump to top of the page, bottom of the page, go to the menu from anywhere in the page, etc. That means the page should be so much flexible that user can go to any page anytime, top, bottom, to the back of the page. He wants to switch some of the pages, then also he must be able to do so. So for that, what we can do, we can simply provide a hyperlink to the content. Now, question is that how much content is enough for the user? So we should not overload the user with too much information on the web page. We must compare the websites which are already in market like Google, Yahoo, Times of India. So we should be comparing those websites first before creating our own zona, and then provide short paragraphs and link to the more important topic or to each of the topics which are available. Now, what is the difference between screen and a printed page? The shape of the screen, whether it is landscape or portrait, because the paper, it reflects light. But what happens with the screen? Screen passes the light from the behind. That is another issue. We should provide contrast on the page. That is the light background and the dark font. After that, avoid light text on the light background. So these are the few points that needs to be taken care of. Screen, it should have a lower resolution than a paper, because paper we have a full hand. We can go anywhere, we can do anything. But for the screen, we have limited screen. So that should also be taken care of. So during these website designing principles, we should take care about the user's requirement, how the user is going to interact with the system. First of all, while designing any website, the designer must think from the point of view of the user. And to the user, we should identify the target audience first. Who are the target audience who are going to use my particular website? If once I'm confident that this will be my target audience, then I should think from the point of view of the target audience. Along with this, we should also compare the pre-existing websites if available on the internet, then also we can come to know that what things are lacking on those websites so that the user can come to my particular website. The navigation must be very clear. Home, back, front, top, load, anything must be clear. Font size should be taken care of, and above all, what we need to think from the point of view of the bandwidth also, because for the low bandwidth also we have to work for the good bandwidth also. Thank you.